a lot of my life began doing things at a much early age than everyone else. At 11 years old, I started playing high school football. At 11 years old, some of the people that are playing high school football are 18 years old. And for me, I felt like for me to hang out and to be a part of them, I had to do what they did. I've always tried to fit in, never really grasping the power of being Germaine Dunn, the power of being me. I didn't know how to do that, And the thing about growing up in a single parent home is your mother can't teach you how to be a man. I had dreams of mainly just, I really wanted to play football. That was my dream. That is pretty much all I thought about. But at the same time, alcohol and drugs and being already an addict, though at the time I would have never called myself an addict. But today, I'm telling you right now, today, I was probably an addict by the time I was 16 years old. I just didn't know it yet. I was a terrible father. I mean, I probably, in the time that me and my kid's mother were together, we probably moved into 15 different homes or apartments. And my main goal each day was not to find a warm place to sleep. It was not to go out looking for a job. It was how am I gonna get some drugs? How am I gonna get beer? I had a very sick perception of who I was and what I was supposed to do in life. I had no clue of what I was supposed to do in life. I remember going and I knocked on my mother's door, and I remember something was different. She leaned out the door, her head and on one foot, and I remember sort of standing there 2 or 3 seconds, and then I sort of tried to get through the crack of the door, and she leaned even more, and she said, "What do you want, Germaine?" And my mother didn't let me in that day. I turned around, walked off, but why I really walked off, because I started crying, and I didn't want her to see that she hurt me. I think a lot of times that's what we do. We want to prove to people that love us that we can make it without them. And you really can't make it without the people that love you. I mean, that's what God is, You ever try making it without God? It doesn't work that way. I didn't know if I wanted rehab. I didn't know what I wanted. Like a little child, sort of. It's like I wanted other people to tell me what I needed for me. I didn't know. Eventually, Sid Dunn talked to somebody at Isaiah House, and Sid picked me up, and he drove me to the Isaiah House. I got to say, it's probably the most important day of my life. Sure, I've had kids. How can you really know what the joy of watching a baby coming into the world? You don't because you're numb to that. Somebody even passes away. How do you know how to mourn for somebody if you're high and you're drunk all the time? You can't really touch those feelings because you're covering yourself with so many drugs and so many different coverings. You don't feel it. You're numb to the joys of life and the things that matter. You sort of hide behind your mask. I love my kids, and recovery is not perfect. It's not perfect by any means. I'm still working on my relationship with them. I have to remember that I put them through a lot. They seen the blunt of who I was. They seen the daddy that always stayed in prison, always stayed in jail. They seen the fights with the mama. They seen a lot. I also have a young son that's 9 years old. My name's Germaine, of course, and his name is Tremaine. God just laid it on my heart about 11 months here at Isaiah House that you need to go get your son. Set up a date for the courts and I went in front of Judge Petrie in Harrisburg. I started the journey to get my son back. But I knew, almost like, sort of like I shouldn't. Like, you know, what makes me think that I've been sober for 11 months? What makes me think that I've done something worthy of this precious little boy, a little 9-year-old kid, to get him back? What makes me? But it's not about me. It's about God. And I listened to that voice that told me to go get my son. Judge Petrie said to me he said, I'm not saying, Germaine, that you can get your son back or you can't. He said, but you can't start a custody case without a house. I thanked him and I went back and I was sort of perplexed about that a little, and I went to back here and I talked to some of the staff and they gave me a house to live in. And I went back in those 60 days and I got my son back. Who gives you a home to live in? And a job and the means to pay your bills? Isaiah House did that.